Once upon a time, a little girl lived in a house on East something something Street. She lived there with her mother and father. It was a time of music and art, of poets and painters. Her mother and father lived right in the heart of that world. The people in it liked to celebrate night after night. They would all meet up at a sought-after speakeasy ruled by a very large and very happy queen. They would get together and laugh and eat and drink magic potions all night long. But after a while, the queen got bored and she started to tamper with her potions. Just for fun, she would add a little of this and a little of that to see if she could change people, change their moods, change their minds. One day, she dropped 3 black seeds from a strange, exotic fruit she had bought in Chinatown into the father's potion. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he stood up, said goodbye to his wife, the little girl's mother, and walked out the door, never to return. The mother, who had grown quite fond of the queen's potions, turned to the queen and said, "Please, please, you must give me all the potion you've got. I will drink it all, as my sorrow is more than I can bear." The queen felt bad for the mother, so she gave her all the potions she could find. The mother drank and drank. The room started to spin. The world was nothing but a big red blur. She fell to the ground. Everyone in the speakeasy grew silent. The party had come to an abrupt end, and this angered the queen. She ordered a minion to bring the mother home, telling her never to return. At home, the minion laid the mother down in her bed, and as soon as her head hit the pillow, she drifted off into a long and deep sleep. The little girl was sad, and she was scared. She didn't understand why her father had left or how long her mother would stay asleep. She waited day after day for her mother to wake, but she waited in vain. The mother's hair grew and grew. Each week, the girl would cut the mother's hair and weave it into a rope as long and strong as the little girl's grief was big. The house on East something something Street soon became a lonely and gloomy place for the little girl. She felt trapped. She would sit in a window on the top floor of her house and look about for signs of life, something that might take her away from her misery. This went on for some time. Then, out of the humdrum of normal sounds outside her window, came the call of the wild.
"Hey ho!"
The voice yelled.
"Tum tum tum!"
Someone called back. She could hear music, rhythms and melodies so luscious her heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, just a short distance away, right at the corner of East something something Street, they emerged out of nowhere. Short people, tall people, round people, and small people. There were dogs and batons, swords and tattoos. They came springing into view, hurling each other through the air, leaping and bounding in all directions. The dogs barked and howled, batons clashed, swords were drawn, making beautiful figure eights in the air. It was a dance like no dance the little girl had seen before. Her heart raced, her jaw dropped, and she could barely contain her excitement. She pulled herself away from the window only long enough to retrieve the big, heavy rope she had made. She secured one end by tying it to an iron railing inside the house and threw the other end out the window, watching as it fell to the ground. She climbed out the window, and gripping the rope of her mother's hair tightly, she shimmied her way to the bottom. She stopped for a moment, feeling her feet on the ground, making certain she was certain. She blew a kiss to the front door of her house, took in a deep breath. Then she turned and ran with everything she had toward the circus that was in full swing at the corner of East something something Street.